So when a hitter hits, we want to learn to use our hips to turn into the baseball. And there's a lot of reasons for that, not only power and so on, but I'm going to show you that if I don't open my hips, so in other words, if I squish the bug, what happens is I have real trouble, because if I don't open my hips, I can't stay inside the baseball. And so what happens is if I squish the bug on a middle in pitch, I'm going to tend to hook around it. Whereas if I clear my hips like this, it's very easy for me to stay inside the ball and keep it fair. So I want you to look here at my hips. If I squish the bug, that's an internal rotation of this hip joint, an internal rotation of this hip joint. Whereas if I engage my core and my motor and I turn everything into the ball like this, turn everything into the ball, then it's very easy for me to hit the ball a long way with a nice line drive angle. Now, if I do squish the bug, what happens is my hands tend to have to leak early to get to the ball, because something has to go towards the ball, right? The other thing is that with squishing the bug, what happens is I can hit the outside pitch well. So squishing the bug doesn't mean you can't hit. It just means you're going to hit the outside and probably the lower pitches a little bit better than you're going to be able to turn on that middle inside pitch. Drew, and he's become very good at using his hips and creating separation between his upper and lower body. But we use the skip a stone drill to first learn the movement. So I'm going to ask Drew now, pretend he's standing beside a lake. Don't throw the pipe. Just drop the pipe. Pretend that you have a flat stone in your hand, right, Drew? And Drew is going to take a step, and then he's going to attempt to skip a stone across a flat lake. Go ahead, Drew. Now you'll notice there that his hips opened first, which allowed him to skip the stone. To skip a stone on a flat lake is a completely natural motion that does not need to be coached. The body and brain intuitively know how to do this. When we ask a player to take a step and then skip a stone on a flat lake, they will automatically execute quite a natural baseball swing. And they will end up synchronizing their lower and upper body using their hips to power the swing. Drew, if you did a squish the bug right now, just stand there and squish the bug, you'll notice, it's really hard to skip a stone, wouldn't it be? Yeah. Because you haven't cleared your hips. Next, we will ask them to do the movement by skipping a piece of dowel or pipe. By doing this with their eyes shut, and that's very important, they can really feel the motion of using their whole body, and surprisingly, this fluid movement will always feel quite natural to them. Their goal is to throw the pipe straight out just over the pitcher's head. Most importantly, they are always paying attention to the feel of how their body moves and what it feels like if the pipe ends up going over the pitcher's head. Okay, what we do though, to learn the feeling of engaging his core motor, point to your core motor, it's the area around his belly button, and he uses that to turn his hips, we use throwing these tubes. So I want you to watch Drew now, and what he's going to do is he's going to take a step and he's going to skip this tube. And he's going to do it all with his eyes shut so he can really feel. Do it first with your top hand, Drew, so he can really feel this movement. Go ahead, Drew. Very nice. Go again. He's getting separation. So Drew's just going to throw the pipes back. This time he's going to use two hands on it as if he were the same as if he were hitting. But Drew, if you just show the motion in slow motion, but hold on to the pipe as if you were throwing it, would you do that for us now? You'll notice that he gets out to full extension quite easily with this drill. He's learning to use his hips and he's learning to coordinate his upper and lower body. Are you ready now, Drew? Away you go. Yeah, beautiful. And also, I'm going to come a little bit more behind now. Drew attempts to helicopter the pipe in a more or less flat motion, right, Drew?
Yeah.
Here we go, bud. Beautiful. Now there, Drew, what did you notice?
I think I pulled the pipe because I hooked it.
Yeah, you hooked it, right?
Yeah.
And was that just because you released it too late, or you didn't get your hips enough?
I think kind of both. I didn't release it at the right time, and I could have used my hips more.
So again, folks, Drew starts with holding the piece of rubber tubing as if he were holding onto a bat. You can use a wooden dowel for this trick, a broom handle. All of those kind of things work great as long as it can slip through your fingers. And are you ready, Drew?
Yeah.
Good. Now this is all done with the eyes shut so that Drew can really feel he's creating separation. Just show them what separation means, Drew.
Basically when your hands come back all the way.
Yeah, his hands come back as his front foot goes forward. And that creates his separation, then he gets out to extension. So this is a great drill to learn a lot of things, but most importantly, he's engaging his core motor to power his hips, right, Drew?
Yeah.
Way you go. Beautiful. Drew is now using the same fluid motion he's learned by throwing the pipes out over the pitcher's head to execute his swing.